So there I was in a waiting room. The kind of waiting room where Hope goes to read old magazines and contemplate its life choices. It was a space that smelled distinctly like lemon cleaner, a valiant attempt to mask the underlying scent of quiet desperation that permeated the air. You could practically taste the anxiety hanging thick in the atmosphere. The chairs were aggressively firm, designed, it seemed, to discourage lingering or any semblance of comfort. The magazines were ancient artifacts, relics from a bygone era featuring 2019's hottest new flip phones. It was like stepping into a time capsule of forgotten trends. I was waiting with a knot of anxiety tightening in my stomach for my first neurologist appointment. This was after my doctor had uttered the words multiple sclerosis and possibility in the same breath, a phrase that had been echoing in my mind ever since. I tried to lose myself in the pages of a magazine, but my mind was racing a mile a minute. What if they find something concrete? But then again, what if they find nothing at all? Which outcome is actually worse to face? The uncertainty was a torment in itself. Every weird symptom I'd ever experienced, every fleeting ache or strange sensation suddenly seemed deeply suspicious, laden with potential meaning. I was frantically building a case against my own body, acting as a tiny, completely unqualified lawyer arguing for the prosecution inside my head. Meanwhile, the defense just kept shrugging, offering weak rebuttals like, maybe we just need more sleep, perhaps it's just stress. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the entire extended edition of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, back to back, a nurse called my name. Well, sort of. It was a mangled pronunciation, but close enough. I stood up, my knees suddenly turned to jelly. I exchanged a knowing nod with the equally nervous-looking guy across from me, a silent acknowledgement of our shared anxiety. Showtime. Time to meet the wizard who held the keys to my brain, the one who could unlock the mysteries within. I sincerely hoped he was a nice wizard and not the kind who enjoyed casting unpleasant spells. The neurologist's office was exactly what you'd expect. Sterile, organized, and filled with that distinct medical smell. It was a place of quiet anticipation, where hope and anxiety mingled in the air. A big desk, the kind that seemed to command authority. Books, lots of them, lining the shelves like silent sentinels of medical knowledge. Each one a testament to years of study and dedication. And a plastic brain model sitting on the desk, silently judging me, or at least, that's how it felt. It seemed to be mocking my ignorance of the complex organ it represented. Then Dr. Adams walked in, friendly, with a warm smile that immediately put me at ease. Definitely not the stern old man I'd imagined. My preconceived notions vanished in an instant. She shook my hand, her grip firm and reassuring, smiled warmly, and asked what was going on, her eyes full of genuine concern. Suddenly I was telling her everything. All the strange and unsettling symptoms I'd been experiencing, the tingling in my fingers, the persistent numbness, the overwhelming fatigue that never seemed to lift, and the embarrassing tendency to trip over flat surfaces. She listened intently, calm and reassuring, jotting notes in her pad, never flinching, never interrupting. I wanted her to gasp at my symptoms, to acknowledge the gravity of what I was describing, but she just nodded, unfazed, as if she'd heard it all before. For her, it was another Tuesday, another patient, another set of symptoms to unravel. But for me, it was the Tuesday that might change all my other Tuesdays, the day I might finally get some answers. When I finished recounting my woes, she thanked me for my thoroughness and said, "Let's do a neurological exam." "Simple tests," she said with a reassuring smile. Right. I felt like I was about to take a final exam for my nervous system, a comprehensive assessment of everything that could possibly go wrong, and I hadn't studied, not even a little bit, but her calm demeanor and confident presence made me feel for a moment like maybe, just maybe, I could handle this. I took a deep breath, trying to quell the rising tide of anxiety. Here we go. Time to face the music, or in this case, the neurological exam. The neurological exam began. It felt like stepping into a bizarre talent show, only the talent being assessed was whether my brain was still functioning correctly. It was like a sobriety test, minus the fun, and the potential for a ride in the back of a police car. Instead, I got a battery of tests designed to probe the depths of my nervous system. Reflex hammer, my leg kicked so hard I nearly lost a shoe. I swear it had a mind of its own. The force of the kick surprised both me and Dr. Adams. At least that part worked, a small victory in what felt like a losing battle. Eye test. Following her finger, I felt like a cat chasing a laser pointer. My eyes darted back and forth, trying to keep up. A strange burning sensation building behind my eyeballs. Light in my pupils. Suddenly, I'm in an alien abduction movie. Beam me up, Dr. Adams. The bright light felt invasive, probing, searching for something amiss. Then, the balance test heel-to-toe walk. A straight line suddenly seemed like the most challenging obstacle course in the world. I concentrated so hard I forgot to breathe. Each step was a monumental effort, a battle against gravity and my own shaky legs. Closed my eyes, touched my nose mist, hit my cheek then forehead, finally found my nose. It was like a bizarre game of pin the tail on the donkey, only the donkey was my own face. It was a series of bizarre party tricks and I was sure I was failing. Miserably. Each stumble, each missed mark felt like another nail in the coffin of my neurological well-being. Every wobble felt like a point for Team MS. They were racking up the score, and I was just trying to stay upright. I tried to joke, is there a prize at the end? A new car, maybe? Anything to lighten the mood, to distract from the growing anxiety. Dr. Adams just smiled, calm as ever, like a bomb disposal expert, carefully diffusing a situation, one test at a time. She was checking my wires, seeing which ones were frayed, looking for the weak points, the potential for system failure. I was just hoping I wouldn't short circuit, that all the wires would hold, that the system wouldn't crash under the pressure. The exam ended, but the real test was just beginning. The waiting game, the anticipation of the results, the uncertainty of what the future held. We sat at her desk, the moment of truth. Dr. Adams explained. See these bright spots on your MRI? Lesions, areas where the myelin sheath is damaged. Myelin sheath. Sounded like superhero armor, but mine was under attack. She described demyelination, like stripped wires, signals get jumbled. My brain was sending emails, but they arrived as gibberish. The conversation was a blur of medical jargon and my own panic. She drew diagrams, explained again, but the words still felt big and scary. Lesions, damage, chronic condition, not words you want attached to your brain. I nodded, trying to look like a capable patient, but inside I was a confused golden retriever. She was patient, but the reality was sinking in. My brain and I had been through a lot. Now, we had a new challenge. I just hoped I was up for it. Dr. Adams asked, "Any questions?" My mind went blank. All my rehearsed questions vanished. All I could ask was, "So, is it bad?" She explained, "Serious but manageable. There's hope. There are treatments." My brain was still stuck on cheese and Netflix, not prognosis. I managed a few real questions, but mostly just sat there, overwhelmed. It's okay to feel that way. It's a lot to process. If you're going through this or just curious, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, give this a like, and join the club. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and the awkward. Because if you can't laugh at your immune system redecorating your nervous system, when can you? The official diagnosis, relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis, RRMS. Strangely, hearing it was a relief. The unknown was scarier. Now, I knew my opponent, I could prepare. Dr. Adams talked treatment plans. There was a path forward. I left the office dazed, but the world seemed sharper, brighter. It was a new beginning, not the one I wanted, but mine. On the way home, I bought the most ridiculous donut. Pink frosting, rainbow sprinkles. I ate it in my car. It was the best donut ever. A donut of defiance, acceptance, and joy. No matter what you're facing, find your donut. Find that small, joyful thing that reminds you you're still you. This isn't the end of my story, just a new chapter. Next episode, my first treatment, needles and courage. Stay strong and go find your sprinkle-covered donut.